Hi, everybody. I'm going to be reacting to the most annoying podcast ever made with the most unnecessary amount of people that need to exist. I can't believe that they have this many fucking people and they're doing that thing that they do in sitcoms where they all sit on one side of the table. I get it, it's because of a camera, but just have a camera that kind of rotates or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So I've seen the clip that everyone's been talking about where it's the whole debate between people who are married if they should suffer through abuse or get a divorce or cheating or whatever. And honestly, I get what they're saying, but I don't like it. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain it. So we're just gonna go ahead and watch this, and I'm gonna do my commentary on it. You'll get what I'm saying, hopefully.
I agree with that.
I want to ask
but-
like one more scenario, okay?
Please.
What about if two people
Sorry.
get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Absolutely.
They should
Yeah.
divorce then?
Jesus himself
You don't
said.
think
But
we
it
should
wasn't
endorse
Jesus, hold on, hold on.
adultery?
Honestly, like, here's the thing. Conservatives are not very popular. It's pretty apparent. It's the most hilarious thing to me that the people that think that they're the resistance literally own and dominate everything. So the rebels, the resistance is literally conservatives. These guys make that entire argument, that entire narrative, that entire resistance into a fucking joke. These guys are the biggest fucking clowns I have seen on the internet in a little while now. Especially this dude, this used car salesman looking motherfucker right here, who thought it was a good idea to wear that cheap ass fucking suit he got from Kmart.
Jesus
And you
himself
could like
said.
work things through, right?
Jesus himself said, in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you
permissible.
think that divorce is worse than physical abuse?
No,
For the
cheating.
Or
children?
cheating, sorry. You think that cheating is
For the children. Okay, like I get what they're saying. Here's my stance on it. I just want to make my stance on marriage real quick so we know where my brain is on this whole thing. I don't believe you should be able to get a divorce because when you marry somebody, you're fucking stuck. It is such a fuck you, in my opinion, that you could even have the option of getting a divorce. Literally, when you're marrying somebody, you were saying this in front of like your friends, your family, God Himself, if you believe in such a thing, that you are going to stick with this person through sickness and health, for better or for worse, until death do us apart. People say this shit when they get married. They apparently don't seem to understand what the hell you're actually reciting. You don't even understand what the point of getting married is. You don't get it. And to me, that's just annoying. Like, yeah, it sucks with abuse. Here's my idea with it. If you're getting abused in a relationship, I don't think divorce should be a thing because you're supposed to just stay married until somebody dies. That's kind of what the point of it is. Just fucking separate, dip out, leave. Or better yet, know who the fuck you're marrying. That's my whole thing on it. Like you should really understand who the hell it is that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You should know them mentally by that point whether or not they're going to be this person. Like I'm a narcissist. I am a sociopath. I don't have feelings or uh, sympathy for people that get in these situations. I know that doesn't appeal to everybody, and I understand that. But if you have an issue with this shit, just fucking go. If you don't know who the hell you're marrying, that's kind of your problem. That is on you. Now, I'm not saying that like, oh, like I'm advocating for abuse. I'm not. I've been in abusive relationships. I've been abused. I've got scars on my hand from my very first girlfriend who kept cutting me. I get it. I dated a girl that beat me with a bowling pin. Like this is a story I've talked about before. I've been friends with people who've tried to kill me before. I've got literal knife. I have a knife wound on my back from one of my friends. I know what abuse is like. Get the fuck out. It's not that hard. But if you marry this person, you fucking stuck with their ass. That's just my opinion on it. Moving on.
worse than physical abuse.
For the
Sorry.
children, yes.
I think I'm not going to
no,
say this
divorce-
is worse.
divorce
I
is
mean,
worse for the
I
children.
already, I already
Is
said.
cheating
I already
worse
said.
I don't think divorce is worse for the kids because the kids aren't gonna really honestly give a shit. My parents separated and it didn't fuck me up psychologically. I know a lot of people probably make that argument and say, well, you're probably the way you are now because of that. No, I was like this before all that shit happened. It just didn't start getting amped up until like my late teenage years, early 20s when I started getting like a really bad god complex. But that had nothing to do with that. I have no trauma from my parents splitting up. I have no trauma from all this shit. I've seen abuse in my household. It didn't fuck me up. It had no real effect on me. I know like somebody would try to diagnose me or whatever, but it's true. It had nothing on me. Here's a famous story. I've seen my mom smash a Sega. Like I don't remember what Sega was. It was the one that had Sonic 2 on it, I think, or whatever. But she broke a Sega over my dad's head because he came home late from a party. I've seen abuse. Like I've been in these kind of households. I've seen it. I've dealt with it. I don't sit here and freak out about it or have to seek counseling or whatever. Maybe it's just because I am a sociopath. I don't know. This stuff doesn't phase me one way or another. That's probably honestly it. But so I can't really relate on this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. I will say this though, these fucking idiots right here, they literally are just not making their case at all. Like I understand the viewpoints of it. This guy, I hate this dude. Like I always laugh whenever I see clips of him talking about high value men. This dude looks like the most generic fucking dollar store looking motherfucker. He is like the Diet Coke dollar store RC Cola Chris Pratt. And that's what it's so funny whenever I see this doofus right here, this generic Jerry from Rick and Morty, have the audacity to tell him that you're not a 10 out of 10. Like, it's not up to you to make that fucking decision. Like, the women think they're a 10 out of 10. That's great for them. More power to you, whatever. You are the most basic looking fucking dude, and you have the audacity to tell women who would never give you the time of day that they ain't shit because you got a podcast and a YouTube channel. You are fucking delusional as shit. This fucking girl don't ever talk. I just see her in the background. This dude, yes, I get it. You're fucking religious to Bible. Who gives a shit?
That if a
Cheating,
woman's
yeah.
getting abused, yeah,
This guy's getting no pussy, and this guy has to pay for it. Let's be real.
I think she should leave. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a brief temporary thing, like
What if it's mental abuse?
Okay, now
Do you
Well,
think
it's
if
less
it's,
cut
if
and
it's,
dry,
if it's
You
obviously.
are
cheating and
setting
mental
your
abuse?
Alright.
child up for failure as well if you stay in like these abusive
Look, that's not
marriages.
true.
Yes, it is
That's
because
true.
you're every single psychologist. We can like Google it right now if you want. Will agree that you're the patterns that you have at home.
I really hate it when somebody's entire argument is to just say, just Google it. Like, all of these people are idiots for the most part. I don't know who this is. Her name's like Melina or something. I think she's the most, like, level-headed fucking person here. I don't like Destiny at all. I've seen some of his clips on here. Like, I don't care. She's probably the smartest person in the room, which is why she's in control of the entire conversation. And I think that's funny.
Are going to replicate in their future, right? So if this child gets used to seeing their other loved ones and probably them being talked down upon, being treated badly, they normalize that behavior. So you're
it
setting
does
them.
it does get passed down generations.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Get some help.
You're setting
But
them up.
I will say this though, my brother, I don't remember what I said a few minutes ago because I rant for fucking forever. I have no like messed up mentality from my childhood. I know, like I said earlier, a lot of people probably debate that and try to tell me, "Oh, yes, you are. Like you're some kind of fucking dime store therapist." My brother has some psychological issues, and a lot of it comes from my parents. That shit didn't phase me. I don't understand how he has these issues. He resorted to doing drugs at one point. Maybe he's still doing it. I don't know. I'm not really super close to anybody. So maybe that's what it is at the end of the day. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a mental health person. I don't really care about all that shit. I just do think it's really funny that they literally try to justify staying in a relationship for abuse. Like I said, you're still married, but just be separated, date someone else. Somebody dies, oh, there you go, you're free. I don't know. That's my mentality.
To
For
go
failure in the
again,
workplace and relationships.
I
in the
just want
future.
I just want you guys to understand this is like the reason why I sit on this podcast and like extol the virtues that I do is because it's like I think we need more righteous biblical masculinity in the world where you actually have good men that are going to be good leaders of their households.
Oh,
They're not
God.
going to beat their wives or emotionally or mentally abuse them or any of these things. Like that's why I continue to do this podcast with Brian because we need to make men great again. So
I don't think. Okay, yeah, I agree. I do have to agree with that halfway. Men do need to be great again. We need to quit being fucking pussies. Not me, because I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. And I will not change my opinion on things. I will not sugarcoat censorship, whatever. I will say what I want, do what I want. I'm not like overly masculine where I'm just like, yeah, boy, hitting the riffs. I don't do that. I'm trying to, but I'm not doing that. But let's be fucking real. Men, if you're sitting there struggling with your masculinity, there's nothing wrong with it. But do not come to Bozo number one, two, three, and 4 and watch this shitty fucking podcast to get masculine. I hate to say it, Andrew Tate's probably going to be more of the thing you need to go to because that guy's actually masculine. This guy is a fucking church going Sunday guy. This is a dork that probably went scuba diving in his toilet at his school one too many times. This is the guy that literally follows girls home whenever he gets rejected from prom. And this guy sells you a used fucking car from Carmart.
So that we don't have these
Yeah, I
situations
know.
continue.
But,
Yeah,
but
you're
it
talking
does-
about liberal men who would
but there's
get epically
probably-
triggered.
Fact.
Like,
What's even funnier is women are more likely going to pick this guy with no fucking his destiny or whatever his name is. The guy with no chin is going to be the one that takes the girl home. Let's be fucking real.
But there's-
snowflakes.
but there's
Facts.
probably
And
gonna
they'd be like,
be-
"You're equal to me. I'm gonna beat you up."
But there's probably going to be cases where there are.
Also, I know I keep pausing, but goddamn, this is just the most annoying podcast, and I have to say shit. I love it when conservatives call people snowflakes while they act like snowflakes. It's the most pot called the kettle black thing ever. And I'm not a liberal, so don't lump me in with that shit. I normally rip on liberals because they're very inconsistent, ridiculous. But goddamn, are conservatives not literally a mirror image of that?
Like really, really horrible marriages. And my question is, would you recommend those people to like choose happiness and like divorce and try to like be on their own because being in the relationship makes them really, really unhappy, maybe even suicidal? Who knows? Do you think they should rather stay just because they?
But you're
I
trying-
think
swore,
they
you're-
should
you're
go. I
taking-
think they should go to
you're
church
taking
and
a-
return to
the
God.
question
Like you're taking a very,
so that
very.
these
Yeah, but I
issues
don't-
go away.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
taking
think
a
the
very- wait,
issues
wait,
would
wait,
go
hold
away.
on.
Let's say if your partner is being really, really, really bad to you, and there's like so many things that he needs therapy, but he's not doing it. Do you think that the wife in that case should stick around for that, even though it might be really bad for her and the child?
But
It's
you're
better to
taking
stick around
you're
for
taking
that
an
than,
extremely
than
niche.
separating.
Hold on, you're
Yes.
taking an
I
extremely
don't think it's very
niche
extreme.
example. You are.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well
I
you
think
are.
there's a lot of
So listen, you're taking an
relationships out
No.
extremely
that-
niche example, and you're blanket statementing it for like the entire
I'm
solution
not saying it
of
at all.
divorce.
I think that. I think
mean,
it
you
could
are,
be-
though.
No, I'm not saying.
But you're saying like,
no,
what if
wait,
the
wait.
guy is like the wife,
Yeah, I'm asking
and then
you what
like
you
the
think, what
kids
you
are
would
like
recommend
fucking.
for
res-
them. Because- wait,
They love Black
wait.
Lives Matter.
Because I never see you conservatives talk about problems like this that won't.
I'm
like,
not a
that is
conservative,
happening.
first of all. How
Okay,
dare
but I
you
never
assume
see-
my
Okay, then you're just a fucking idiot then that doesn't know what the fuck you're even talking about. Even more.
I never
political
see you talk
affiliation?
about problems
Wait,
that might happen in a marriage after
Typically,
you
when
get
his
married.
points
I
are
think-
raised,
I always
it's
see
to
you guys
poison the
talk
well.
about. I always see you guys talk about how you get there and all these things, but when it actually comes to like happiness and like mental health, I never see you talk about any of it. And like
This is
what to
why-
do in
Mental health is
situations
a
like
side
this.
Melina, I want to make
Yeah.
the point. This is why I tell people that they need to find God and go to church because it's like all of
Because that solves everything, right? It fucking doesn't. Finding God doesn't do a goddamn thing for you. Going to church doesn't do a goddamn thing for you. It's all about getting your own fucking self corrected. You don't need to go worship something. You don't need to find solace in someone else. You don't need to date the next person to clear your fucking bad judgments and have a better life. It doesn't fucking work that way. I know one too many people that fucking live this idea, and it's just the most abysmal fucking chaotic thing ever. Go find God and everything will be cured. My boss tells me this every single day. Every fucking day. I go to work, I have lip ring, I have my lip ring, I have my piercings, eyebrow piercing, whatever. For a while I had my black hair before I started shaving my head. I dress in black, I wear a wallet chain every day. For a while I was painting my nails black because, I'm really into that kind of style. And she would always tell me like, "Oh, mijo, you gotta like go find God. Find God will make you feel better. And if you find the Lord in your heart, then you can go to bed early." Because I'm an insomniac, and I'm just kind of like, me going to church isn't gonna make me want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. I don't understand why these fucking people say this shit. I'm not saying nothing bad about my boss. I love my boss. She's a very good lady, but like this whole mentality of like, go find God, go to church, it'll make you a better person. No, it won't.
these problems that you're describing, if somebody authentically has a relationship with Christ and they're living in alignment with the Word, like it's going to mitigate 99%
yes,
of these
but I
issues.
do know conservatives that is
Yeah,
going to
there's
church
fucked
and
up
they
people out there.
still abuse their partners.
I also know people who go to church and still abuse their partners. So yeah,
Physically,
And I'm
wait,
asking-
you,
There's
wait,
fucked up
wait,
people
wait,
who
wait,
are
wait, wait,
going
hold
to
on, hold on, hold on.
Oh no, that can't be. Ugh.
I'm asking you if you're going to stick
So
up
wait,
for
wait,
those
you
people.
know
Yes.
And what
conservative.
would you say? Would you tell them to divorce, or would you tell them to
Time
stick
out, time out.
along
You-
in an abusive relationship?
You say you
Well-
know conservative men right now that are beating their wives?
No, I'm saying that they probably exist, right? I mean, I'm asking you, what would
My grandpa did. Fun fact.
you say to help those
But what would you
cases?
say to liberal men who are beating their wives?
She would say
Yeah, but it's not the
She would say
same.
divorce.
Yeah, you
She would say
divorce.
divorce.
But like,
Stop
but it's a
beating
lot-
her.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier as a liberal if you're non-religious to just divorce,
Like,
right?
the
But
point-
if you're really, really religious, like really heavily, and you have a lot of pressure from your parents.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're religious or not. When you get married, you literally do this before God. That's why you get a very specific person to, marry you. You know what I'm talking about. It. I'm saying it's so funny to me that non-religious people get married. Because it's just kind of like, do you even know what you're doing, my friend? Like,
And like society, or like the group that you're coming from, the culture, it's going to be a lot harder for you to divorce
But
because
you're
you have the
creating like
pressure to
a-
stick.
you're creating
Because
like
you
a-
guys are saying like no matter what happens, you stick in the marriage, even though it might be
But again,
really
to
like
go
mental
back,
damage
Melina,
and
so-
everything, right?
Why you
Melina, to
choose
go
your
back to the
partners
point,
wisely.
Nev, 1 second. To go back to the point that I was making,
Mhm.
encouraging people to go to church. If somebody's in a situation like that, this is a concern that ought to be brought before the church and taken care of with the elders and the other people that are there. And like, let's say John is beating his wife, right? And
yeah, let me just beat my wife and take this private matter to church and let the elders decide the fate of what we do next. I can't with these people, man. This is why I'm not religious.
his wife comes to the church leadership and she's like, hey, like, this is a problem.
With two
I
black
want to
eyes,
divorce him.
like, hey, this
At,
guy's
at
whooped
that
my
point in
ass.
time, the church leadership can step in and be like, yo, John, why are you beating your wife?
Which honestly, I appreciate them asking.
You appreciate them asking? You shouldn't even ask. If you find out somebody's beating their wife, call the fucking police. Again, gets no pussy and follows girls home after prom, right after he got rejected. This is this dude right here.
A lot of institutions wouldn't do that.
True.
Yeah.
There might be valid reasons.
And they
Yeah.
ought to. And this is
I've already told her twice,
This is a
like-
positive social pressure that comes with being a part of the body of Christ and like actually being involved, right? Like there's so many benefits to people seeking God and going to church and like being a part of a community like that, where a situation like you're describing arising, like there's going to be a ton of
I've dated church girls. I've hung out with church friends. I have no problem with them having religion. It does not bother me. But let's be fucking real. They're all crazy. Like, they are. And I'm not even somebody that's all like, oh, the Big Bang is the cause of everything. We came from the Big Bang. Because I don't believe in that shit either. Because I think it's so stupid. Scientists just have to come up with some bullshit. I looked through this telescope and I decided, you know what? Everything came from the size of an atom and that just exploded. We're all here because of that. I'm looking through my telescope, taking your tax money. Yeah, no, I don't believe in that Big Bang bullshit either.
social accountability. But when people are atomized and they're separated from the rest of their community and stuff, and they're, they have like a secular conservative home, you don't have that social net to like protect
People used to get lynched for doing things like that.
I think the
Did
issue
you
is
just
that like
say
in the
that?
broadest, in the most macro, broadest
You can just tell that the men on here really believe that the witches were burned at the stake, which did not happen. Fun fact. That is not a thing.
sense. I think the big disagreement is it feels like on our side, it feels like we're talking about relationships like they're meant to be enjoyed, and you guys are talking about relationships like they're meant to be endured.
Absolutely.
I mean, to an extent, a relationship.
I like the I like how you guys take two
No.
totally opposite.
I disagree with the idea.
Wait.
The idea
So-
that they're just meant to be endured, again, it's another false dichotomy, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying,
He agreed, though.
I did. No.
No, and you do have to
But
endure.
you're saying it's
I understand
you do
reasonably.
You do have to endure.
Endure. Look,
You have
look,
to endure.
See, this is the part where I kind of I get what they're saying. Like, when you're married, you're not going to have 100% fucking happiness the entire time. Do you think your grandparents who've been married for 50 fucking years liked each other for those 50 fucking years? They probably didn't, but you know what? They had a special bond, and they still give each other a kiss goodnight right before they go to bed every night. You know why? Because they've been companions the entire time. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, if somebody's whooping your ass, don't sit there and be like, "Oh, just endure it, man. Get over it. It'll get better. Good times are coming. Find God, and then He'll quit beating you and giving you a broken fucking nose every day."
marriage comes down to, in my opinion, my humble opinion, as a single 28-year-old man, I can't
Gee, no wonder you're fucking single in your prime. Wow.
speak from experience, but it's like I listen to guys like Jordan Peterson, and he makes incredible points in the sense that there is a lot to be enjoyed in marriage, like you guys are describing, but also at the same time, it takes personal sacrifice. It
Yeah.
takes endurance. It takes like sticking through thick and thin and like really sacrificing for the relationship. It's not all. It's not going to be daisies
To
and
a certain
roses.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, that
the
stuff
time.
I agree
Jesse,
with.
I think you can
To a
agree
certain
that
point.
majority, like nowadays, the majority of like average people and people in general, they just give up too quick on anything.
I don't know. I think that the disagreements that
100%.
we're
You
having is
disagree?
that
You think the
No.
people are like
it's
more to like push through things and
the
like not
issue
having
is
an
that we can survive better independently without relationships. So women's standards for enjoying relationships is getting higher. And
That's
I
true.
think that we're having an issue like trying
In
to
America.
negotiate. Well, in most of the Western world, probably. Right?
which is all failing.
There's also a lot of
It's the
Compared to
most
what?
successful compared to what?
Also, I just want to point out these people don't seem to realize that the Eastern countries are also failing. That's why I laugh whenever they say the Western civilization's like collapsing. Have you ever even seen Japan? People are marrying their cousins because they're running out of people to get married to. Like they're reproducing with family members because there's not really anything out there. So a lot of people are just inbred. And I don't even have to say anything about China because China they used to execute your kids if you had a daughter because they wanted you to have sons because there's too many women or some shit. Russia, all these other countries. It's so funny. And also, I just want to say something else too. I think it's funny whenever these guys talk about high value men's making six figures and they shame women for talking about it as if like, how could you think you deserve somebody with six figures? I live in fucking Los Angeles. You want to know something? Six figures ain't fucking shit. It's not shit. You can't afford anything out here, even with six figures, unless you're making the super duper high six figures. You make $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year out here, you're still fucking struggling. So shut the fuck up about women wanting that. I want that. You know why? Because that means I can afford my fucking rent. If I date somebody that has six figures, and I know a girl who makes six figures, but I'm not trying to say this like I'm just after her for money because I don't really care about the money. What I'm saying is, I think it's so funny that they sit there and act like, yo, you don't deserve somebody with six figures. Somebody with six figures in LA just means that, hey, you know what? We might be able to pay our rent and our cable and electricity. We might even have internet if we feeling fucking bougie. Shit, my cell phone bill? Consider that paid. I don't know what we eating for the rest of the week though. I don't know, ramen noodle dinner? Cool.
I mean,
What are we
compared to
failing to?
Yo,
well, I mean, failing as a nation, failing in
No,
obesity.
what nation are we
This dude's fucking over 240 pounds. He's talking about obesity.
failing compared to?
Well, let's see. America, let's see. Obesity rates are on a climb. Let's see. We can't get
You're
enough.
not answering the question. What country or what other what are we failing to?
Okay, so let's talk about failing in regards to obesity. We're the
No,
we're-
She's asking
Answer the fucking question, you fucking loser.
for an example of a country that's doing it right.
Ironic.
You
So,
can still fail objectively.
right. No, we don't need
what
to
country?
listen.
You're saying
just,
we're failing as a
Chats-
whole.
Just
That
real-
suggests that
I-
there's
I
a
get
measure
it.
of
Get this
success.
one.
What
Let-
country
you can-
succeeds?
no, 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 no.
See, this is one of those examples of people watching like, oh, I watched Andrew Tate for 15 minutes and well, see, here's the thing. He never said anything about this, so I don't really have an answer to it, so I'm just going to talk around it and act like you're stupid because I'm wearing the fucking suit that I picked out at Aeropostale.
We were
It's
better
like-
100 years ago.
Yeah, that you're trying to say like we need to find another country that's doing it right, but I'm just saying no. Wrong is wrong.
No, she asked you which one's doing good, you fucking idiot.
We're doing it wrong. Like if we're trending in the wrong direction, like we're getting fatter, we cannot meet military recruitment and like
Oh,
requirements
what
at
the
all.
fuck? Holy shit. So,
No,
my bad.
drug use is at an all-time high. Self-deletion is at an all-time high. Single mother households going up. American education on every front is like dropping in numbers. So like,
Your education never meant anything, you fucking idiot. I don't know who needs to know this, but your education has never meant a goddamn thing in this country. That's why people still can't do mathematics and they have college education. They walk around using their calculator on their cell phone to do basic math. Your education has never meant anything. They continuously teach you new shit like Common Core math and advanced math and all that. You're never going to use that shit in the real life unless you're a fucking engineer. And even then, most of the people that you go to school with will never see the light of day behind that degree. And that's just a fucking fact. You know what most people are going to do in school? Even if they graduate and go to college and shit, they're going to work at a fucking pizza place. They're going to work at fucking Domino's. These are the people that hand you food through the drive-thru. It has nothing to do with the education. Just you can't do anything even if you get the education. You're fucked. Especially with student loan debts and shit, and nobody can afford their rent as is. See, now I'm starting to sound like a commie socialist, and I hate that. But it's true. It's literally true. At least I'm fair with that kind of shit. I don't know. I wish if I got on this podcast, I'd roast the fuck out of them until this limey looking dude right here tries to kick me off his show because he has no answer to anything I say. without this dude over here. Look at this dude. Oh my god, I hate these people so much. Whoever that Melina chick. Let me find a picture of her real quick. This chick, the only level-headed fucking person in this entire room, the only intelligent person. I don't even think this woman spoke the entire time. I think she's with Destiny. I don't really know. They're kind of sitting close together. I don't really know. But I mean, if they're together, then good on him, I guess, for landing that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't give a shit about these Twitch people. This is an example of why podcasts should not be a thing. The Laughing Skull Podcast, episode 9, coming out soon, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.